This is a true story on the theme of deception. During the late 90s, my brother Joe liked to say, "Marijuana, that's a girl's drug. It will literally turn a guy into a chick." We were all in our early 30s, and I was convinced that Joe and my other brother Bill were these clean and sober health nuts. When they weren't lifting weights or eating brown rice, they were mocking pot smokers. The routine would go something like this. "Marijuana, that's a girl's drug. It will literally turn a guy into a chick. Yeah, you think that's the gurgle of the bong, but that sound is really your Y chromosome's desperate cry for help. Time to get a training bra or the summer's eve starter kit. Say hello to your new vagina, hippie. Hey, it'll probably talk back. Hey, it'll talk to you when no one else will." And then Joe would say, "Now heroin, that's a man's drug." I thought he was just joking until Bill came to me one day and said Joe really had started using heroin and now he was hooked and needed help. We decided to call my dad because even at age 30, Joe still blamed my dad for everything. "It's all Mad Dog's fault," he'd say. And sure, in high school, we needed drugs to deal with my dad. Early on, we learned that you should always smoke some dirt weed from a bong made out of a pickle jar before you watch a grown man throw a tantrum. Unfortunately, when we called my dad, he just gave his usual spiel. "If you kids had grown up on the farm like me, there'd be none of this drug nonsense. You would have been too busy shoveling shit." So here we were, stuck with my dad, just deciding that his kids were all pussies and that our childhood should have been even harsher. We somehow dragged Mad Dog to the drug counselor's office anyway as we plotted Joe's intervention. Mom, Dad, Bill, and I met twice a week for 2 weeks. Mom agreed to lure Joe to their house for the intervention by promising him money. And then, the night before the intervention, we were at our meeting about to do the final run-through when Bill raised his hand and said, "Oh, I should probably tell you guys all that I've been doing heroin this whole time too." This was terrible timing. We all just stared at Bill for a moment as he squirmed in his chair. We weren't sure what to do at first, but finally it was decided that we'd just plow on through the intervention for Joe anyway because my dad had already paid the counselor and he wanted to get his money's worth. At 10 the next morning, Joe walked into my mom's house carrying his skateboard. We all filed out of my parents' bedroom like it was a surprise party and we sat him down. My mom read her letter to Joe first, but she had to stop in the middle of it to tell Joe to take his hand out of his pants because he was slouching on the couch like Al Bundy. I read my letter and no one listened. Then Bill read his letter, and here it was, one heroin addict confronting another heroin addict. Bill just started spouting phrases from his half-finished community college career. "Joe," he said, "I know it's your fight or flight response, but you don't have carte blanche to live this laissez-faire lifestyle. Then he talked about our Viking ancestors, which was the best part of the speech, except that my family is actually Irish. Then it was my dad's turn. He set his script aside. He looked right at Joe and said, "Joe, I'm sorry if I hurt you when you were younger. I'm here to help you now. Watching you hurt yourself is breaking my heart. Will you get some help, Joe?" I couldn't believe it. Maybe seeing both of his sons in such bad shape had finally roused something in my dad. This was the kind of thing I'd been wanting him to do my whole life. My brother Joe looked at my dad and gave the wheel of his skateboard a spin and then said, "Oh, I'll think about it." The skateboard wheel kept spinning as we all got up from our seats and the intervention wound down. A few minutes later, I saw Joe standing in the hallway with my mom, who was clutching her purse nervously. "But Mom," Joe said, "you said you'd give me some money. This family's hit a new low if my own mom is lying to me. Is it worth it to you, Mom, to be so dishonest?"